Our life jackets located underneath all the seats.
Thấy không?
There are also offerings up the front of the boat and down by the sides of the wheelhouse. And there are float-off life rafts up on the roof, but you certainly won't be needing these either. Our trip today comes in two sections. First, we start off quite slowly, and I'll point out some of the local areas, and then we'll crank things up and blast out to Sydney Head. And just going past where it all happened a couple of weeks ago, Oprah Fever, the biggest thing since the discovery of Australia. And now we've got these blow-up things, actually light shows that's attracting attention to the City Operahouse. Designed by Danish architect Jan Knudsen, was completed in 1973. He never got to see the building completed as he had a disagreement with the engineers. It has over 1 million self-cleaning tiles on the roof and they're working very well. They were only ever cleaned once for the 2000 Olympics. It has over 1,000 rooms and more steel than the entire Sydney Harbour Bridge. This is considered to be a masterpiece of human creativity.
Hát không Trang, thích nha. Ra đây rồi.
And you see folks, they managed to get $1,000 a head to sit out and watch the fireworks. That's pretty creative. Over to the right there, probably the best known wharf in Sydney, the Manor Wharf steps. Anything happening on Sydney Harbour will start and finish here. And this is where Jessica Watson sailed in after her round-the-world voyage on Ella's First Lady. Now coming up on the right next to the greenery, there's a sandstone building. This was the homestead built for the first Governor of New South Wales, Governor Lachlan Macquarie. Governor Macquarie planted corn crops throughout this whole area in front of us here, known as Farm Cove. However, the corn wasn't terribly successful and subsequently moved out to
Cái này biết sao nó đi 15 phút chậm sang 15 phút nhanh.
These days, Sydney's botanical garden. Fabulous to have such a lush green area so close to the heart of the city. It's a great place for a picnic or a job. And you can get a red train around the area. There's the train just down to the right now. And just down to the right there, Sydney's open air cinemas, extremely popular in the summer months. Around to the left there, a photo opportunity with the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House in the same shot. The Opera House was designed to be half the height of the Harbour Bridge.
Nam nó nhìn thích không? And the bride to be on the shore over there. Now this is where Mrs. Macquarie's
place used to come down and wait for the ships to come in from England. Couldn't watch shows of our lives back then. And she was such a regular fixture down here that they carved a chair for her out of the sandstone and can be seen just around the far side of the point here. This is Macquarie.
Nói mấy cái tàu tàu lính.
The Aboriginal word for baby black kangaroo. Now there's a great big wharf in the middle of Woolloomooloo Bay, originally home to the whale hunting fleet in Sydney, and the wool merchant has their stores in here. These days very flash apartments. Keep your eyes peeled on the penthouse suite there on the end. I think I can see him now, Russell Crowe, practicing his gladiator moves. Another well-known resident here, John Laws, the radio man. Now the W Wharf is also famous itself. It is the largest timber structure in the world. And so now out in front of us we have the big crane. Earmarked for destruction, however. And it's now been heritage listed, so it will be staying forever. Very good pointing there. So this is the Navy work area, Garden Island. Originally an island where crops were planted to feed the early Navy personnel. These days, Garden Island is joined to the mainland by one of the largest grading docks in the world. And this is just over the far side of Ship 52. And what they can do here is put a great big ship inside, put a wall across behind the ship, pump all the water out and do work to the bottom of the ship. A recently well-known ship in there, the Pacific Jewel, hit the bottom over the other side of Sydney Harbour and had to come up for 3 weeks of repairs. And so now out in the middle of Sydney Harbour, the island was originally a pile of rock called Pinchcut was used as a detention centre. You didn't get a lot of food out there. The fortress here was built in 1855 to help defend Sydney against the Russians during the Crimean War. No shots of anchor were ever fired from there, however it was accidentally fired upon by the Americans. Quite an interesting spot to go and have a look around. You can go out there on the weekend, there's a restaurant, and you get a ferry from Circular School. That was right here back in May 1942. We're going to put to this one. 3 Japanese mission submarines made their way right into Sydney Harbour here with the intention of torpedoing the USS Chicago, which was moored just to the right of us here at Garden Island. They ended up missing the Chicago and they got a smaller vessel, the HMS Catapult. One of the subs made its way back out of Sydney Harbour, one was brought up and get ready for a post. One of them was captured and deployed around the corner for the Garden Island Heritage Museum. At 19,000 litres of paint for just one coat. And the best place to climb it is dawn or dusk, so you get to see the light and the dark. And over to the right there, Sydney's Luna Park. This was the left side while they were building the Harbour Bridge. Up the hill that's there on the Parramatta River goes Island, and that's where the show Water Rats was filmed.
other judges, and 3 out of 4 were happy. I was happy, but the one up in Harbour Control gave you the good 2. So he's a bit of a letdown. But I reckon today's winner, jump roll please. Alright. Sitting in seat 2, the little boy up there. Right at the front. There he is. There's your winner, guys. Give him a round of applause. Alright, I'll come around and give you that prize in a minute, guys.
Good on you, matey. Well done. The winner of the first ever Jet Cruiser dance competition. That's a huge privilege. Good on you. And a couple of Jet vouchers for the runner-ups too. That's just great. So, thank you very much, folks, everyone, for participating today and joining our little cruise around Sydney Harbour. You've been a really good crowd. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in Sydney town. Now, we'll be pulling in here shortly, folks, so if I could please ask everyone to remain seated for us just while we pull up the wharf here. If anyone else wants a voucher for the Jet, folks, put up your hand and Steve will bring you around one. So, yeah, I'll just please ask everyone to remain seated just while we pull into the wharf here, and we will also be continuing on to Darling Harbour. So, you're welcome to get a lift around there with us as well, folks, if you like. They were the runners-up in the Senior Can Dance competition last year. And that was these two right there, folks. And I don't know what's happened to our photo packs again, but they have appeared. So normally we'd be looking at our photo packs now, folks, so we'll just have to see if they have photo packs. Photos, guys. Photos. Photos. Photo. Oh, no photo. Well, I don't know what's happened to our photo packs, folks. That's a mystery.